You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
So you want to go with Rubber first?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
I watched that. I'm pretty sure I saw that last year, but I remember it. I'm up to that. It's a film you don't forget very often.
Rubber?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rubber,
it is one of those films.
About.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just whatever.
Get with it. Get with it. Come on. Suck it up. Let's go.
I'm sucking up nothing but mucus right now, so. Anyway, yeah, you're right. You know, just the way the film starts, it sucks you in. It's the premise. The premise is just so weird. Mm-hmm. It's just so weird, and you can't help but watch it. The film starts out with this tire just laying in the dirt, and just, you know, ever so slightly, you know, making itself free, and like a newborn, it can't walk, it can't crawl, but it figures that stuff out, you know, almost like a probably a bad example, but like a newborn deer, like right out of the womb, it has to figure out how to walk,
right?
You know, and that's exactly what this tire did. It probably was on a car at one point, but it wasn't walking for itself. Or rolling, I should say. Rolling for itself. I'm probably going into it a little too deep, but...
Possibly.
But it is a movie about a tire.
Right, and as you say, the opening of the film, we follow the tire through its opening metamorphosis, or its...
transition.
Its journey, its transformation into a, its growth pattern, you know, its... learning and everything, and while this is happening, there's a group of spectators on a hill watching.
Yeah, the accountant, he has probably 20 binoculars, walking with like 20 binoculars, and goes over to this little hill where they're all watching, and he hands them all the binoculars. Then a cop drives up in a car, but hits a chair every, I don't know, maybe 10 feet. There's a bunch of them set up, and the whole point of it is the car has to hit each one. And I guess in doing that, he explains that, you know, what purpose is anything? You know, this movie's about a tire going around killing people. Yes, it makes no sense, but what makes sense? And that's how they set up the scene with this car hitting every damn chair in its way. But it's an interesting idea. Who knew that you could be entertained by a film about a tire rolling around for 90 minutes killing people? But they managed to pull it off.
Yes and no.
I mean, it's not in no way perfect, obviously, but they do pull it off. I don't know if I'm crazy about the ending, but.
Well, that's how they don't. That's how they don't pull it off. I think it's. Yeah. You know what it is? The whole opening with that monologue about what movies are.
Yeah.
Where you think that they're talking to the audience, and then you find out he's talking to a different audience. Right. The film is really, it's a film snob movie. This is one of those films you go to see. You go to see at the Angelica in New York, and everybody nods, sits around nodding. Oh yeah, it's right. And I've been one of those people. I went to film school in New York for a year or two, and good choice. And I've been one of those people, and you and I are both in some ways one of those people. We'll sit around and talk about some films, the imagery and stuff. But this is one of those films created by like a film buff about films, and
Right.
it's so this is somebody who took a lot of classes on Fassbinder and German expressionism, and they're so deep into this is the kind of person that like watches Unshinanjulu, the film with the eye.
Oh yeah.
That kind of wacky shit, and like and then just can't stop raving about it instead of saying, oh, that was kind of weird, and then like move on. It's one of those films. It's somebody who's too smart for their own good, and the film purposely tries to turn people off at the same time it tries to amuse. In my opinion, obviously.
Well,
So
I agree with that to some extent, but I think in order to get ahead in this business, maybe you don't have to make a film exactly like this, but you got to make a film that gets people's attention. And a fucking tire running around town killing people, as stupid as the idea may sound,
mhm.
it's enough to possibly get you your next job, especially if it's not total shit.
The trailer was awesome, and it got my attention, and I saw it, and I
Right.
enjoyed the film to an extent. But you can tell when you hit a point in the film. This is one of those movies where the director, writer, whoever, they want you
Yeah,
to say,
Quentin.
"Oh, this is."
The hell's his name?
They want you to
Quentin
say this.
Derelou?
His name's Oh, there you go.
Quentin
That's
Dupuis. Dupuis.
writer / director. Yeah, and
It's
he's
probably Dupuis.
he's done a lot recently. And I'm not knocking artsy filmmakers. I'm not knocking small independent filmmakers, and I'm not marking filmmakers who don't make films that are for the masses. But
Right.
if you just watch this film and you really get the idea. This is the kind of guy this is the kind of filmmaker who likes when people say they don't like it, because then they don't get it. Every
yeah,
person that says
I
this
mean-
film sucks or this film was stupid or slow or whatever, every person that says that like makes him better, makes him smarter.
I think just about every filmmaker would agree with what you just said. They don't.
No.
They no. Well, no. Well, to an extent, I think a lot of filmmakers, when they hear, I didn't like it. Well, you didn't get it. I think a lot of filmmakers feel that way.
I think a lot of filmmakers think, who gives a shit? Like Michael Bay. Everybody trashes Michael Bay films. You think he gives a shit? It was like, no. All right. A lot of people did too, because obviously it made millions of dollars.
Well, yeah.
What I'm saying, this is that kind of artsy thing. Once you get into like the artsy area, and I don't want to say poser, because it's a decently made film. I enjoyed it. I thought the ending was a cop out, and it's one of those films too where it hits a point where okay, the film's not making sense now. We don't know how to end it, so let's have the person in the film actually bring this up and criticize it.
Yeah, like interact.
That way,
sure.
That way, we're making fun of ourselves. Yeah, but it still means your film. It still means your story sucks.
Well, it also means that scene, they didn't know how to. It just almost felt like they didn't know how to do the scene. So I'm agreeing with you where it said, well, why don't we have the one character criticize it? That way,
But
while people are watching it,
right,
they can agree with it. They say, oh, yeah, why don't they just do this?
right. But my point is, it's not like they were filming linearly and they hit a point and said, oh, gee, what do we do now? This concept was folded into a script that this guy worked on for a long time. And since he's the director, was considering how to film ahead of time to begin with. And yeah, there's a lot of budget constraints involved. When you're a writer-director and doing a low-budget film, coming from someone who knows, you definitely take that into consideration while you're writing your film and while you're planning it, because you have no money to film to begin with. So you got to make sure that all your concepts are filmable. And I just really can't shake the feeling through the film that it's just, I get that kind of poser artist vibe off of it, or as you might call it, hipster.
Yeah, I would definitely call it hipster.
Which I don't like the phrase, but
I know you don't like the phrase, but I think a lot of people don't like the phrase because it can be used inaccurately sometimes. When I use it, it's accurate.
I think everyone that uses the term hipster always tries to use it for someone they think that they think isn't cool, but they think that person thinks they're cool. And I think a lot of the times it's self-defensive, where it's it's like that thing. Oh, everyone likes him. Well, no, he's just faking it. I'm not saying jealousy, whatever. I think it's a cliched, overused phrase. But in this case, it almost applies because it's not this person. I'm not saying this person doesn't know what they're doing. I'm not saying Quentin is a bad filmmaker, but I don't think the film is true to itself, and I think it's too self. When the film gets this self-aware and this self expository, if that's the correct term for it, it really it's the film is less about the audience and more about the film.
Yeah.
Because what's the number one purpose of any film?
Well, I mean
to entertain.
To get your audience involved.
Right. Well, exactly.
Or entertain. That's a better example.
Now, people like this also think of film as art, as I occasionally do too. Now, entertainment and art are not mutually exclusive, but maybe they should be. Because when you get stuff like this, where it's supposed to be art, and obviously it's tongue-in-cheek dark humor too, but there's still an artistic angle to it, art becomes the excuse to do stuff that's not does not help the entertainment angle. And when you use art as an excuse not to be entertaining, then you're just not making a movie anymore. You're playing with motion media.
Right. Okay, I agree with that.
I struggle with stuff like this because, again, I loved this film for the first half hour, 45 minutes. I was digging it.
I agree. I really agree with that.
I didn't like the cheesy thing with the audience. I didn't like it, but I dug it and I rolled with it. I would have loved this film if it was just a straight film about the tire. That's what I signed in for. That's what when I got this film, I was in for the movie about a tire.
Right.
And I honestly felt cheated because the opening pretty much says I'm fucking with you.
Right.
You're an audience. I'm talking shit to you. You're stupid. Blah blah blah. It's the artist transcending the audience, but at the same time chastising them yet trying to appease them, and I don't care for that. It bothers me. So
I actually did think this was like you
Me
said
too.
You were looking for a film about a tire. Did you know that it was something else, or you started it thinking it was just about a tire?
All I knew is I saw the trailer. I don't like reading much into films anymore because it ruins stuff. I saw the trailer. Right. I was like, wow, a film about a killer tire. And then I rented the movie, and I was like, okay, here we are. And then this bullshit opening with the audience and stuff comes in. I was like, what the fuck's this? And I was hoping that was just going to be an opening, and then it would like a bookend the film. But instead, it became the movie. And that's where, I honestly, and I think they could have, and you can say, well, yeah, but you can't do a film about a killer tire. Bullshit. And that's where Quentin dropped the ball. He could have done a film about a killer tire and done it well, because he had the first half of it down set.
Yeah. But we wouldn't have got to see Wings Hauser.
Why not? They could have written him in.
When was the last time you saw Wings Hauser act in anything?
Oh, Wings Hauser's the man.
No, that's what I'm saying. I love Wings Hauser.
Yeah.
You know?
And the whole thing with the cop.
Yeah.
That was, it's too self-conscious, too drawing humor from the idea that, the movie's self-aware now. Yeah, I saw Moonlighting. Whatever. How about you're a tough guy. You're a tough guy filmmaker. Do a movie about a fucking tire that kills people. Don't give me some half-assed. Oh, gee, the let's break the fourth wall, or did we? Fuck you. See, I'm hating. The more I talk about the film now, the more I don't like it.
Oh, come on. I think you got to take it for what's good, and you have to take for its faults. And there's a lot of things out there that are way worse than this.
The film's got a disdain for its audience that I don't care for, and I think I think the film's a cop out because the concept of the tire. It may sound bizarre, but I'm telling you, the concept of a killer tire would have made a good film by itself.
And like I really did think that's all I was going to watch was a tire rolling around everywhere, killing people.
Why
As a matter of
not?
fact,
And-
I had talked to somebody that recommended the film to me, and that's all they talked about was the tire going around killing people. They didn't mention anything about the audience participation, or I should say, watching it from afar, the cop, anything. They just, hey, I saw this film about a tire killing people. You should see it. Really? It's just a tire killing people? It's a tire killing people. So I had no idea that there is anything but a tire killing people. So
Did you see that?
I did see that. But
Mother-
let's see. But
Sure.
let's see if it screws your audio.
Oh, I don't think it is, but it's still. Son of a bitch. For those of you not watching,
good old Skype.
my live stream webcam just went widescreen.
As long as it doesn't fuck with your audio like it used to, who gives
Well,
a
that's
shit?
because, yeah, I agree with you there, but there's still no reason for it.
And everyone that's not watching live or the video, we apologize for how boring this is.
I don't apologize. It's not boring. I'm over it already. And maybe that's what it takes if you're not into like the whole film thing and you don't really take offense to or dig the whole concept of breaking the fourth wall and talk about the audience and talk about the film
Right.
within the film, then all you're walking away with is the killer tire. But I think it's a half-assed attempt at a movie. Honestly, guy could have done a straight art film, artsy poetic film, and instead, when you write people into your film talking about your film, just fucking stop. That's any film that starts off. I was in a screenplay I was selling one of my screenplays. This guy, they were looking to do a small, low budget film.
Okay.
And they were contacting 2 or 3 different people, and I was one of them. And I happened to get a hold of the screenplay that they chose over mine, and I've never seen it produced, so I'm glad they didn't take my script, because I guess nothing happened with this whole project. It was just a little... I think it was like somebody that had money that decided they want to be a filmmaker. But I got a copy of the script that they chose over mine, and I wasn't trying to say who's better or worse. Totally different type of film. Mine was a teen body swap comedy. Theirs was a comedy action, a gangster kind of thing.
Okay.
But it starts off with the characters in the film talking about like Pulp Fiction,
Really?
talking about other films that they're trying to emulate, pointing out that this film is going to try to emulate them in a humorous way, and that pissed me off to no end because it's so amateur. That's great when you're you're writing your first screenplays out of high school, like I did. I did that. I did the exact same thing,
Right.
but again, if you have to bring the audience's attention to your genre or to what you're doing and try to separate what you're doing from somebody else by mentioning it in your film, or even just bring it up, anything like that, all you're doing is saying I'm too stupid as a writer to convey anything through dialogue and story structure and setting and innuendo and metaphor and symbolism. I just have to tell you. And that's what I walk away with this film.
And that script had actually won the contest. That was the one that won?
Well, it wasn't a contest. I got mixed up with something else. It was a person that was looking to buy a screenplay, and he was choosing between the 2 or 3 others.
They passed
and they
yours.
chose. They passed up mine. You know what? You know why they passed up mine? This is the funniest part, and this is why I was kind of glad. It was a teen body swap comedy, and you've read body swap comedies.
I mean,
you've seen. I'm sorry, but you've seen body swap comedies. Everybody's seen Vice
they make
Versa.
them about every 4 years.
It's like cyclical. Every 5 years they come out with a body swap. That's why I wrote one. It's like it's always going to be in the vogue. Every 5 years it comes up, and the only thing that in mine, instead of having the actors playing each other, I
Right.
chose the route of Quantum Leap, where you have the characters. You see them as they are, but everybody else sees them differently. So, like in the Quantum Leap, where Sam would be in a dress,
Right.
I had the 2 teenagers who are a boy and a girl swapped, so they're pretending to be each other, but they're in their own clothing, they're their own person. And
I remember.
I spent 3 45 to 1 hour conversations with this guy on the phone in the course of a week, trying to explain it to him. I even purchased a copy of the Quantum Leap episode where Sam's in drag and mailed it to him Said, just watch this. This will show you what the could not comprehend the concept. Do
you think it was just a ruse as an
No.
excuse to say I don't get it? I'm gonna pass on your script.
No, because why would he
dumb?
do that? No, he wasn't playing dumb. He was fucking stupid. That's why when he passed me for that screenplay, I see that. And again, I've kept an eye out. I've never seen it produced, so thank God, because I read it and it wasn't that good. But that's neither here nor there. Again, but so that I have that kind of this is why I don't like Hollywood films that are very ooh, look at Hollywood, aren't we wacky? I don't care for that shit. It really just it's self-involved and too self-aware, right. And it distracts from what it should be just a filming experience, a film-going experience. That's me.
Okay.
I didn't think I had that much to say about this, but the more I thought about the movie...
You know what? I'm surprised that we talked this long about it, like you said.
The more I think about it, the more this film annoys me now, and I liked it.
I did like it. That's the thing. I didn't love it, but I did like it.
And you know what? All I'm going to say is if he had done a straight killer tire movie, maybe it wouldn't have ended up with a straight ripoff of the Herbie films.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person who saw Herbie Rides Again. Okay, that's nice to know, but what the fuck? Come on, really? Rip off something else.
Well, I mean, it's a very low budget. No. Although I will say they did have some of a budget to do some of the head explosions, which, back in the day was...
That's cheaper than you think.
It's cheaper than I think?
That's cheaper than you think. It's money involved, but not as much as you might think. Look how low budget like scanners and shit. Well, scanners maybe not, but I mean George Romero wasn't really demanding big budgets when he made Dawn of the Dead, and they were doing head explosions back then with fucking blood-filled condoms and shotguns. So
let's see, what's the budget on this? $500,000. Not bad. Not bad, considering The Minority was well done, yeah. $300. This was $300,000 more than The Minority, and The Minority didn't have any special effects in it. Made $100,000 though.
Or again, Angelica
on 5 screens. Yeah.
Angelica, I guarantee the Angelica was packed with people nodding their heads. Yeah, Fassbender, I get you. Yeah, fuck you.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So I've decided to put Haywire on in the background.
Okay. Real quick for Rubber.
Okay.
What's the? Come on, goddamn.
The IMDb rating is I believe it's 5.7.
5.7. What's your vote on that?
I would say. I think 6 is too high. I do.
I think,
but I think less than 5 wouldn't do it justice. I think it's a solid 5.
It's a solid 5 because it's a solid half of a film.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 5. I think it's average. I think it's really good in spots, but that's not enough. Huh?
You cut it into 2 films. If you cut it into the straight killer's tire film and the snobby art house self-important audience, let's comment on film, I give it 5 stars for a full 5 stars for the killer tire and just 1 star for the snobby art house guy. So I'd say 6 stars.
You want to bring it up to 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of my hatred is because of my own personal issues. My own biases.
All right, I'll give you the 6. I'll give you the 6.
I think it's fair.
Like little scenes that I really thought that I laughed were like scenes where the tire is in like a recliner watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like little things like that I just thought were genuinely funny.
There's a lot of inspired moments in the film, and again, for a $500,000 film, very well done. My main problem is with the artist himself, so to speak, and the fact that he had this cop-out bullshit attitude. Could have been a decent cult film. So 6. I don't want to shit on it too much, just because it didn't achieve what I feel it should have achieved.
Right.
So yeah, 6.
Okay, I agree with that.
All right.